Shalom Aleichem, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Chazon, EMUNAH B'Tachin, and we're speaking about this idea that you could have a love-hate relationship with different people, meaning certain people could find favor in your eyes based on their natural abilities, perhaps the way that they look, maybe the money they carry around in their pocket, maybe the things that they've accomplished and the like. And therefore you're really more intuitive, more in tune with other people, and you appreciate the value of their spiritual greatness, and therefore you'll have an ava, you'll have a love for them. There are other people that naturally, off the bat, you have a sina, you have a hatred for. Again, based on the way they dress, you don't like their clothing, you might not like their face, the way they laugh, the things they do in their spare time. They don't have money and you appreciate money, so on and so forth, all the different things that they do that might annoy you. So the natural tendency of a person is, again, if he's not holding his middos in check, is that he could allow someone who is missing certain qualities that appeal to the person who's watching him to come to a level of sina, of hatred. And this obviously is a very negative trait that a person could develop. And that is because, as the Chazon points out over here, when you are out of touch with good middos inside of yourself, and rather you allow the negative traits and the like to swirl around inside of you, it is common that these kind of things can end up happening, Rahman al-Islam. How terrible is this sight? Lirois ish, you'll see a person risk his life for his nation, even maybe one person amongst Klal Yisrael. And yet, on the other hand, on the other hand, nothing will stop him from striking someone that he hates in certain circumstances. You can have a person, he's willing to put his life on the line for Klal Yisrael. He's willing to risk his life for the sake of another Jew. He would do that because that's his nature. His nature is to be daring and to be compassionate in those ways and willing to risk his life for others. The same person, he could have such bad middos, such negative traits. Says the Chazon, if he finds someone that he despises, that he hates, what's he going to do? Nothing will stop him at all from striking and hitting that person. This is the constant stira, the contradiction that a person can live in their life. On one hand, they could be naturally inclined towards defending Klal Yisrael. They can have beteva in their nature is that they would like to be someone that risks his life in the defense of the Jewish people, our country, our land, our brothers, our sisters. They're willing to do that naturally. However, that's only their teva, that's their nature. Then bad character traits that are swimming around inside of this person could lead them to be so mean and so cruel that if somebody agitates them, somebody really ticks them off, as we would like to say, somebody's life is bothersome to them, so what is that person going to do? That person then, in a fit of rage or anger or getting mad, they could end up coming and striking that person and hitting that person and putting that person down and degrading that person if they so want. Why is that? Says the Chazon, just because your nature is to be a valiant fellow, just because your nature is you want to save the Jewish people and you want to defend another Jew, just because that's your nature, doesn't mean that you have good middos. And the middos on their own must be worked on, they must be fixed, they must be developed and refined in order that just as naturally you're willing to put your neck on the line for another yid, you have to get to a place in your middos that almost naturally you're ready to treat and interact with every single Jew in the best and the most noble and refined way. Have a wonderful day.